So in this video we'll be talking about different note durations which tell you how long you should play a note or how long you should just be quiet. I'll also be using a computer program to show you this because what you'll see out there is mostly computer generated notes and not some person's poor penmanship like mine. So let's get started. Our first one is called a whole note, and a whole note just looks like a circle just like that, and you hold it for 4 beats. So if we're in a time signature of 4/4 and there's 4 beats in a measure, all we need is one whole note to fill up the bar, and that's it. Our next note is called a half note, which looks like our whole note. It's a hollow circle, but with a stem. And they're 2 beats each, so you need 2 of them to fill up a bar. And something important to mention is stem direction. So if you put the note above the middle line, then the stem should go down, and if it's below the middle line, then the stem should go up. Also notice that down stems are on the left side of the note, and up stems are on the right side of the note. Our next note is called a quarter note, and quarter notes look like half notes, but they're filled in. And in a 4/4 time signature, quarter notes receive 1 beat each, so you need 4 quarter notes to fill up a bar. So it's pretty simple so far, right? We have whole notes, which are 4 beats each, half notes, 2 beats each, and quarter notes, which are 1 beat each. Which leads us to our last note, which is called an eighth note. And eighth notes look like quarter notes, but they have a little flag. Well, if they're by themselves, they have a little flag. But the cool thing about eighth notes, my idea of being cool, if you put 2 or more right next to each other, you can connect them by connecting their flags just like that. And if you've been following our mathematical pattern, eighth notes receive half a beat. And the way we count eighth notes is 1 and. So quarter notes are easy to count. You could just say 1, 2, 3, 4. But eighth notes, we have a note in between each beat. We have to count the half. So we use a plus sign to notate that, and we say and. So 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and. And when it comes to stem direction, the same rules apply. So if the notes are in the top general area, the stems go down. And if the notes are on the bottom, then the stems go up. And I know what you're thinking, because I'm thinking the same thing too. What if the notes are all over the place? How do we connect the flags? I am curious too, so let's check that out. Is it sad that this brings me some sort of entertainment value? I hope that brought you as much happiness as it brought me. So anyways, these are the note durations that tell you how long you should play a note, but we also have note durations that tell you how long you should remain silent, and they're actually directly related to these note durations. Now you already know what a whole rest looks like because they're all over the bottom line, and they look like a tiny brick below the 4th line, and they tell you to remain silent for 4 beats. Half rests tell you to remain silent for 2 beats, but to confuse you even more, they look like whole rests. They're basically tiny bricks above the 3rd line, but the way I remember it is that half rests look like hats, like Heisenberg's hat, and whole rests remind me of upside down hats, and upside down hats remind me of magicians, more specifically magicians with bunnies coming out of their hats, and bunnies remind me of farms. Farms have cows have milk, whole rest. Or you could remember it as the one that doesn't look like a half rest. Now if you want your musician to rest for 1 beat, then we need a quarter rest, and quarter rests look like little squiggly lines. When I draw it, it looks like Harry Potter's scar. But they tell the musician to rest for 1 beat. And that's it. And lastly, eighth rests tell the musician to rest for half a beat. And eighth rests vaguely remind me of dodo birds. They look like little circles with lines going down its side, and that's all I got. So again, quick recap: whole notes, whole rests, 4 beats each. Half notes, half rests, 2 beats each. Quarter notes, quarter rests, 4 beats. Just kidding, 1 beat each. Eighth note, eighth rest, half a beat each. So before we go, here's a piece from Auld Lang Syne by Robert Burns, and I wanted to use this to show you how different note durations can be mixed and matched, right? It's not always 2 half notes in 1 bar or 4 quarter notes. You can always put different note durations with other note durations. And if you notice, that first bar has only 1 quarter note, and we call this a pickup measure. And pickup measures allow you to start songs not on beat 1 but other beats. In this case, if I just see only 1 quarter note, I could assume that this piece of music starts at beat 4. So without further ado, here is Auld Lang Syne.